good morning, good afternoon, whatever it is, wherever you are. It's me again, Jen. Hello! And it is Thursday. It is the 6th of August, and we are still working with the Journey into the Hidden Realms as our tarot card for the month, our tarot deck for the month. And it is a deck by Barbara Moore, and illustrations are by Julia Jeffrey. I don't know why I tripped over that name today. And this deck has been graciously lent to me for the month by my friend Topaz. So this is her deck. So we are trying not to abuse them too badly. Today they are jumping around quite a lot though. So we will see what jumps out at me. And without further ado, let's see what our card for this warm Thursday is. Haha! A Major Arcana card. Here we go. We have the Hierophant. I'm not sure how well you can see that because that gold at the bottom of these cards. I would say this is the most jovial Hierophant I have ever seen in any deck. He is actually smiling. It's not a big, like, giggly smile, but it's definitely a more prominent smile than I've ever seen in a Hierophant. If you have any other smiling Hierophants, please let me know because I have not seen a whole lot of them. So the Hierophant is the 5th card in the Major Arcana. He typically, and I say he because more often than not it is a masculine figure that is on there. So, and usually someone who is older. So typically he represents kind of tradition, religion, those kinds of things in the sense of there's a system to it. It's not spirituality in the feeling side of things, which is a little more what the High Priestess is. She's a little more about spirituality and knowing your own truth sort of thing. Whereas the Hierophant is more about, like, I hate to say it, but to some degree kind of the dogma of things. He's about tradition, he is about learning and, you know, again, systems. He's about systems. So, and he is a teacher. So the Hierophant is typically depicted as someone who knows the systems, has done the traditions, knows the rituals, knows the plans, knows how things are supposed to be, and does them in accordance. He is in some other decks referred to as the Pope, which if that doesn't encompass kind of all those meanings of like, the Pope knows how to do these rituals, the Pope knows all the words, the Pope knows all the, you know, how things are supposed to go because he has studied them. This is not an innate knowledge. This is not a knowledge through like experience per se in life. It's knowledge through learning in the books and study and really that dedication to mastery. So I think in some ways the Hierophant can represent any sort of tradition and any sort of dogma and any sort of system, as long as the idea behind it is this is the person who has really dedicated their study to it to become a master. Typically, the Hierophant is passing down this information to students, and usually you see the students in the cards. They're either a couple of monks, or we did see in, I think it was the Steampunk Tarot, they were children. So usually the teacher has students present, but in this one it really kind of looks like you as the reader, you as the person looking at the card is his student. I can kind of almost picture this character talking to you from the card, so to speak. And there is a lot more whimsy to this one than there is in most of the Hierophant. I'll say again, he really, like, he's got kind of a smiling to his eyes, to his lip, and he seems more gentle than like the teacher who is kind of sitting up on high. He looks more like maybe there's a group of students kind of sitting on the ground around him, or this is the teacher who likes to take class outside, or who will sit with you in a big circle rather than sitting on a standing at a podium or something of that nature, he is a lot more grounded, I guess, a lot more earthy to me, but maybe that's just my interpretation because he does kind of have a smile to him. The idea behind this card, insofar as what it means, is what, or I should say, the advice that it gives is be open to those traditions and be aware of them. Do not be caught up in them. And then from the other side, it also really speaks to, what if you were the teacher? If you have knowledge, if you have all these things, give them freely and kind of with a gentleness to it. Don't berate people with knowledge, really, is kind of the way it is. It's ask the question of your students, draw the information out of them, teach them the basics and how to learn rather than just by rote. And that's kind of one of the things that is the two sides to the Hierophant, because we know that religion and dogma and systems can be really strict and you can be bludgeoned with them. And it's like, you believe this because this is what you're supposed to believe, rather than allowing the student to question and broaden their spectrum of knowledge, which I feel like this one embodies more of that. So if I were reading this, it would be a little hard for me to say, oh yeah, watch out for being stuck in your traditions and stuck in your ways, because he just kind of seems like he's not. He seems like almost a Socrates sort of character where he leaves every lecture with that question of, well, what do you think? Or this is just what we know so far. That kind of thing. He really does seem like the wisest man in the room is the one that believes he knows nothing, sort of thing. And I really like that embodiment of the Hierophant, as opposed to the person who's sitting up on the high throne of knowledge and like just kind of hitting you with this is the way it is, this is the way it's always been, and this is the way it's always going to be kind of tradition. It's more of, here is what I have learned and studied, and by watching maybe more nature, because the Hidden Realms does seem to kind of have a more nature lean. It feels like I have studied the stars and their movements, and I have studied the oceans and their ebb and flow, and I have studied the rocks, and it even looks like he's got maybe amber or something like that, maybe around his neck, or stones. There's kind of shells and things. So I really do feel like maybe he has kind of studied nature in its scientific way and wants to present that knowledge as, this is what we've seen before, therefore we can extrapolate from that these sorts of things. But who knows? Maybe you will discover something else. And I feel like that's how he would end everything. This is what we've learned so far. This is what we know. But what could we know if we just dig a little deeper, if we learn a little more? So if anything, this Hierophant is one who is pushing you to kind of sidestep that what is real, what is tradition, and what is the meaning of tradition. And I don't usually give like book review stuff, but it's really funny because the book that I'm currently reading by Kim Leggett is The Grace Year, and it really is pushing those boundaries of what does tradition mean and what do our rituals mean. And I don't know, I kind of feel like maybe pick up that book and check it out. And this is one of the most beautiful Hierophants I have seen too. And I say beautiful even though it's a guy. He has a beautiful face and he really seems like a nice person I would like to talk to and learn from. So he's a good teacher, good teacher. And as schools are opening up and teachers are learning how to be teachers in a new way, I hope that maybe you embody some of this spirit and open up your ideas for how things are supposed to be to how things could be, and find that silver lining. So that's what we have for today for our journey into the Hidden Realms and our Hierophant. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe and like and do all those kinds of things. Tell your friends, because I think that this information should be readily available, and it gives you a chance to kind of check out some of the different decks that are out there. So check out the links in the description below for my website and all the other cool things that I'm doing. check out my YouTube channel for all of the strange things that I post, because I am bored and I have nothing else to do but random stuff like play the ukulele and learn belly dance and teach belly dance and do all these crazy things. So I hope all of you are staying healthy, staying cool, and just being good to one another. Relax. Have a wonderful Thursday. Looking forward to the weekend, and I will see you tomorrow with another really cool card. Bye!